Hello guys, due to the lack of content ideas, today I'll make a tier list of all the game dev related tasks from the most easy and interesting ones to the most difficult and annoying ones. So let's go. Let me add categories first. So first we will have the simple and easy piece of cake. It will contain the most easy and fun game dev tasks. Second would be brain flex. So the tasks that are not too hard and it is fun for the brain, so it will be a flex for brain. Third will be night is turning dark. From here it will get tougher. And fourth, blood, sweat and tears. You get me right? Fifth would be the most haunting and the difficult game dev task. So let's call it Skull Crusher. And here we have tasks in a very specific order from start to end, how a game dev process starts and how it ends. So let's start. So the first one is everybody's favorite, starting a new game. That's the best part. You will feel that it is going to be the greatest game of all time and you are full of energy, enthusiasm, orgasm and all that kind of shit. And it is the most easiest part of game dev. So it goes here, piece of cake. Starting the new game is the easiest part. Now we have project planning. It is an interesting phase where you define unrealistic expectations, where you believe you are Clark Kent and set Superman level goals and plan the project. So it's kind of a brain flex, at least for me. Now GDD. So the game design document, it is a part of project planning, but to me GDD is fun because you design a skeleton of your game and it's not that difficult and it's really fun to do. So I'll put it in the brain flex category. Prototyping. And now we are talking. So prototyping is hard, especially if you have a unique gameplay, but as it is a part of the early process and you're full of energy, and so it feels comparatively easier. So I will place it in the night is turning dark category because it is not that easy and not that hard. Story. So story or content of the game, that's interesting for me because creating a storyline is a really interesting job, but creating game content around it is really hard. So I will easily be able to build up a story, but making a gameplay around it which fits well with the story is really hard. And sometimes, at least for story-driven games, it's really haunting. So I will place it in the night is turning dark category. Art creation. Here comes the monster, the most difficult and challenging part of game dev, and especially if you are creating it from scratch, then it is art creation. Because it decides the direction of the game. You are not just creating 2D or 3D art, you have to decide the feel of the game, the color palette, how the character design is going to impact the gameplay, and a lot of other stuff. So for me, a disclaimer, I'm not an art guy and I spend money to create art for my game. So I hate this phase to my gut and it requires a hell lot of attention. So I will keep it in the skull crushing tier. Level design. It is just an evil twin of art creation. Me as a game developer is more of a coding or programming guy. I don't like level design. It requires an artistic skill and sometimes with just first attempt I get a perfect level, and sometimes even after hours and hours of work you don't get what you want. So for me, I'll place it in blood, sweat and tears category. Moving on, animations. So animation, I am considering the Unity part of animation and not creating animations. So managing animation is not too tough. It becomes complex sometimes, but still it is okay to do. So it is going to night is turning dark category. By the way, if you're enjoying the video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more such interesting content on game dev. Now we have basic coding. So by basic coding, I mean not too complex stuff. So like creating a combat system, player movements, and maybe an inventory, which are not too complex to code, and you have a lot of references and examples on the internet, so it's pretty interesting and it is kind of easy. So I'll put it in brain flex category. UI UX. I don't like it, but I can do it without much difficulty, so I'll keep it in the night is turning dark category. Balancing. Game balancing, it seems like an easy task where you play through the levels and balance the game accordingly. But for me, it is not. I have a tendency of making hard games. Don't know why, but by default, I make hard games. That is one of my biggest problem as a game dev. So balancing my game as per general audience is really hard. Lot of playtesting, lots of trial and error. So I will place it in blood, sweat and tears. Audio. By audio, of course, managing audio in Unity and not creating it. The creation is also not too challenging unless you have some crazy audio requirement. And managing it in Unity is pretty easy. So it goes to the BrainFlex category and not a piece of cake because sometimes it gets tricky. Bug fixing. Bug fixing is a hard process, especially when your game is big and it has different types of gameplay. So it goes to the blood, sweat and tears category. Integration. Integration means adding third-party plugins and add-ons to your game. If you have made games for Google Play Store and App Store, and if you have worked with publishers, you will know they will ask you to add literally 1000 plugins and SDKs to your game. From analytics, ads, leaderboard, this, that, and the most painful part is Unity. Yes, if you add Facebook SDK, Unity starts throwing error. And if you work hard and fix it and add the next add more plugin, they will throw some new errors. And this goes on. So integrating such add-ons are difficult, so I will place it in Night is Turning Dark category. Because for PC and console games, I don't think integrating other plugins is that hard. Complex code. So we encountered the basic code which was fun and easy, but this is hard one. Maybe making a complex mechanics like complex boss battles, highly optimized save system, procedurally generated levels. So all this hard part of coding goes to this absolute skull crushing tier. Marketing. I think 99% of indie game devs hate this phase. Firstly, because we don't know anything about marketing. And secondly, marketing makes us do unwanted things like making a tier list video on YouTube. And it takes away a lot of valuable time. So it requires blood, sweat and tears of a developer. Polishing. Polishing your game is an infinite loop. You start by saying that I will polish the player movement and it will be good to go. Then after polishing the player movement, you think I can improve the level design to cope up with the new player movements. And if you improve the level design, you think, oh, there is a room for improvement for art also. So I can improve the art a bit. Then after improving the art, you think I can even further improve the player movement, and it goes on for an infinite loop. There is always room for improvement in your game, and it is very hard to understand when to stop. So I will place it in the blood, sweat and tears category. Porting. Porting your game to different platforms is not very difficult, so I will place it in the BrainFlex category. Finishing the game. Do I need to explain it? If you are a game developer, then we can skip this part because we both know the pain, mate. But for those who don't know, finishing the game feels like defeating Goku in Ultra Instinct. I don't know why, and I just cannot explain why, but finishing the game is very, very hard. So it has to go to all the way to the top. Post-launch support. It sucks, and I'll keep it in BrainFlex. So that was it, guys. Full game dev tasks from start to end categorized. Do you see the irony here? Starting is the easiest and ending is the toughest. And there is only one task in the easy section. So all the aspiring game developers out there, be careful. Comment down your thoughts and correct me if I'm wrong. So that was it. Hit the subscribe button and follow me for more. I'll see you very soon.